last night.
Let me swallow. I've made this mistake before. Okay.
It'll settle
How have you
down.
not plugged your beehole yet? I thought you'd plugged that beehole.
I did. Apparently it wore off. I bet that detective was just like,
Yep.
And
Everyone's fucking each other.
and high, and drunk,
And drunk.
and angry,
Best days of my life.
and horny.
Don't touch it. It's fine.
Okay. Oh God, I'm gonna have hives. Okay.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, let's start.
Okay. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends just wine, chat true crime, and scream at each other for no reason. We're fine.
Coffee every.
Good.
I saw it come out of your lipless mouth.
Amanda got us.
I have not showered off my spray tan yet. It's on my list today. So enjoy.
Your skin is the same color as your lips.
I put on lipstick
It's a little better
that
now.
you
Darken
forced
up.
me to do.
Okay. Amanda got a spray tan. She had no lips. They completely blended in. Lucy and I were so freaked out that we made her put on lipstick.
And I did.
It's too pink. We meant a red.
I do not wear red lipstick.
A mauve.
I don't. It's the one I put on. I could go get it and show you. It is like dark purple. I just didn't want to cover
Get your
it.
black lipstick.
Oh, I should have.
That would have looked so
I don't even know
insane.
where that is. I haven't worn that in years.
We're not joking. Go put on lips.
No, really. Super distracting.
I
It
haven't
looks great.
showered yet.
Oh,
All right, we
you're
got to
gonna
get through
look
this because I got to
so
go
great.
get my spray tan. Okay.
Hey.
All right.
I got it a day early so I'd have time to correct.
The kind I'm getting, you wash off after 6 hours, not 24 hours. So I'm set.
The clear coat,
Yeah, the clear coat.
which makes it sound like a car wash.
Jesus.
I am hairless where I should have no hair. I have robust hair where I should have robust hair.
Hairless whisper.
I'm lightened
Hairless
where I should be
whisper.
lightened. I'm getting darkened where I should be darkened.
Did you get your butthole lightened? Is that what?
No, my teeth.
Oh, that. Okay, I'm like, where should you be
I
lightened?
got
Pretty
my bathtubs.
ring.
Did you get bleach? Beautiful ring.
I told my waxer about the nice ring story.
I'm getting a wax this afternoon. I'll tell mine.
Oh my God.
Ring.
Okay. This is a true crime podcast. Da, da, da. And our topic this week is brought to you. It's a very special fan pick brought to you by Stevie Pottle.
Oh, Stevie.
And they have selected the topic of chef crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Corey almost dumped in his pants when I told him today's episode.
Did he have a lot of ideas?
He had a lot of ideas.
He always does.
He had a lot of ideas.
Stevie also wants to shout out and dedicate this episode to Kelly with an EY.
Oh,
So
hi,
shout out
Kelly.
Kelly. Thank you to both of you. Amanda, what is our wine crime pairing for chef crimes?
Well, our sweet baby angel Stevie. Oh, Lucy, I see your breasts.
I know. My camera's.
Wow.
I got a lot going on right now.
That was such a treat. Join at $5 a month to see those breasts. There's no nipple and you don't actually see the breasts.
There's
behind a
also no
sweatshirt.
bra.
Oh, I love that. Stevie is a sweet baby angel and also sent us their recommendation to
Yes.
go with this beautiful topic today. So Stevie wrote, I don't have a particular crime in mind that I would like to request, nor a wine, but I do have a drink. What I used to drink in incredibly large quantities when I was working in restaurants. So already my heart is like, yes.
Yeah.
This is called the Feisty Ginger. It's oh wow. Okay. It's 4 parts Malibu, preferably Malibu Black. 4 parts cranberry juice, 1 part lime juice, a bunch of ice, no garnish.
No time.
put
Ain't
in one
nobody
of
got
those
time for that.
plastic to-go cups.
Basically, it says mix together in your receptacle, whatever that may be, and stir or
Nalgene.
and stir or shake and pour if you're now over 30 like me and need to thin this sweet bitch out a bit. This goes great in an old school 1-gallon Coleman cooler so that you can carry it everywhere with you without spilling it. It also keeps it incognito in case the kitchen manager is a tool.
Yes,
The lime-
Stevie.
The lime balances the cranberry, and the cranberry helps stave off hangovers. I don't know about that, honey, but you
That's
keep drinking.
Bladder infections.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stave off UTIs.
UTIs.
Or at least that is what I used to tell myself.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Thank you again for this awesome opportunity, Stevie.
Oh, thank you, Stevie.
Hey,
Yes,
Stevie.
I am very excited to try out this cocktail recipe, although we actually are starting at 10 a.m. today, so I am drinking coffee in my bridal mug.
I ordered you those cups, so
Yay! I'm so excited. I love them.
Wondered why you were like,
My friend Kristen got this for me after I got engaged to go in
cute.
my...
well, dang it. Okay.
I'm drinking out of my Prince pint glass.
Cute. Also, we may
Very
get a special
boring.
appearance by Bill, who is going to be coming in here to grab a lens.
Nice.
Ignore him. I'm the bachelorette.
Shun him. Okay, all right. Well, Lucy, what is our background and maybe psych for chef crimes?
I have psychotic. So
That counts.
It counts. But before we start, I have a quick story that I didn't tell you guys because I thought the listeners would appreciate. So last night,
Let me swallow. I've made
Okay.
this mistake before. Okay. Go.
it just fell out of your lipless mouth earlier. It was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so last night I was very tired last night, and I was trying to like call Ray, and I have
Summon him.
summon him. I have a lot of nicknames for Ray. I call him Raymond and Ramon and Moaner and Moaner
Ray
Boner
Bega.
and Monkey Man and all that stuff.
Motor. What?
So I meant to say Ramon, but instead what came out was remains. And Corey was like, you should go to bed.
Go to bed.
Don't.
Remains.
Cremains.
Tell
Remains.
me without telling me you've been working on your notes all fucking night.
Remains. Come to mommy.
Wow. I think that fits. I think your next cat's name is set.
Cremains. It's kinda cute.
Cremains.
Creamy.
Little cremmy.
Cream.
Little-
Creme
little
creme.
Little creme.
Creme.
Creme
Little
de
baby
menthe.
creme.
Creme fraiche.
Creme de mains.
All right, well, that's settled. All the nicknames are ready.
Okay, so my actual notes. A chef is a professional cook who is usually in charge of a kitchen in a restaurant. A chef is not the same thing as a cook.
Correct.
And some people get real
Yes,
feisty
chef.
about that.
Yes, chef. Yeah, the hierarchy is important in the kitchen.
We'll get to the hierarchy.
Whew.
Specific type of chefs. Also, why isn't it chefs?
Because that's the cheese.
Because that's, yeah.
Chefs.
That's goat cheese.
Kenyon
Dumb.
knows. Fucking yum.
I had a salad with spinach, goat cheese, walnuts, and strawberries the other day with a balsamic.
My
Yum.
go-to is spinach, almonds, Parmesan or goat cheese, and dried cranberries.
Yum.
Yum.
Ugh. Can you tell we're hungry?
Yep.
So specific type of chefs vary from kitchen to kitchen, but in general, here's what we have. The executive chef is in charge of
Executive chef.
is in charge of all the kitchen operations. They are rarely involved in cooking the food and meal preparation, but instead executive chefs design the menus, they oversee food preparation and also ordering.
Mhm.
And they train and manage the cooking staff. So they're like
They're the brains.
boss.
Yeah, they're the boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
the brains.
Then we have the chef de cuisine, which is French for head of the kitchen or chief of the kitchen. I didn't know that chef was chief
Yeah.
in French, which makes sense.
Yeah, it actually doesn't necessarily have to do with cooking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the chef de cuisine works under the executive chef, but they are more focused on the actual cooking, and they oversee the kitchen and instruct the cooks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very
That makes
cool.
sense.
Mm-hmm. Then we have a sous chef, who is the chef in second in command of the kitchen. So they're usually they're ranked directly before. Sorry,
Under.
that is
It means under head.
yes. Sous chef means under chief, so they're directly under the head chef or the executive chef. In a large kitchen, sous chefs generally manage members of the kitchen on behalf of the head chef, who's usually preoccupied with more important tasks.
Yeah.
A chef de partie, aka a station chef or a line cook, is a chef in charge of a particular area of production in a kitchen.
Not a party chef?
No.
I'm sad.
Head of party.
Head of party.
You're like the chief of your section, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in
Fine.
large kitchens, each chef de partie might have several people working under them. In most kitchens, however, the chef de partie is the only worker in that particular department. So this brings us to the Brigade de Cuisine, which is a system of hierarchy found in restaurants and hotels employing extensive staff, also like really fancy kitchens. So Kenyon, if you care to follow along with my notes, I am more than happy to let you tackle the French.
You're quite good at the French.
Okay.
Do you want me to do
try.
it? Kenyon
No.
loves what I do it.
No.
She loves it.
I'll step in if you want. Do you want me to?
I can give it a go.
Yeah, you're good.
Give it a go.
Okay, so first we have the sauté chef or the saucier. They prepare sauces and also the warm hors d'oeuvres. They complete the meat dishes, and in smaller restaurants, they may work on fish and prepare sautéed items.
I love a warm hors d'oeuvre. Yum.
The sauté chef is one of the most respected positions in the kitchen brigade. They have a lot of weight on their shoulders.
Basically, they just get to make cool potions and then like plate things nicely.
Cool.
They are in charge of, like, for example, cooking a sauce all day long so that the flavors really marry, and like that's what brings out the flavor of the raw ingredients themselves.
Yeah. So some could argue they have some of the most important
Yep.
jobs in the kitchen. I'd be
Yes.
so scared to be on saute. Because it's like they do batch a lot of stuff for multiple dishes. So like if they fuck up, it ruins kind of everything.
I mean, everyone has an important role, but that is definitely up there. So then we have the fish chef, the poissonnier.
Oh, le poisson. Hee hee hee. Oh.
It's gonna be a hot in my silver pot.
In my pot.
Sonia loves The Little Mermaid.
Good girl.
Yay.
I know. She just like lights up when we play clips of like all the
That's
songs.
right. We sang Part of Your World to her at Zoe's house.
I know.
Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast were my.
Jams.
I watched them every time we went to Mr. Movies. That's what I would get.
Yeah.
Mr. Movies.
I don't know why my parents just didn't buy the VHS, because I rented it every time. But whatever.
That's so cute.
Then we have the roast chef or the rôtisseur, and they manage a team of cooks that roasts, broils, and deep fries dishes. And then sometimes under the roast chef, or maybe like in addition to the roast chef, you have the grill chef and the fry chef. Especially in bigger restaurants, it is important to have a specific person on the fryer.
There's a lot of stations, and the fryer can be going like constantly all fucking night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't want that shit backed up.
No. Then you have the entree preparer. So they prepare the soups and other dishes which do not involve meat or fish. So they would prepare the dishes, like the vegetable dishes, the egg dishes, stuff like that.
What if there's meat in the soup?
I don't know. Good
Okay.
question.
Ooh, I threw a little wrench in there. Wrench in the operation.
Ray
There's
knocked
a fly
over my
in the ointment.
Ray knocked over my cat head. Okay.
Of course Ray did. Ray is a menace.
Then he is a menace. Then we have the soup chef, not the sous chef, the soup chef. And in French, that is the potager. The vegetable chef, the légumier. The roundsman, which is basically like a floater. They move throughout the kitchen, assisting other positions as needed.
Cool.
Then we have the pantry chef. It's the food keeper. So in French, it's the garde-manger. This was the position that Corey had in that fancy French restaurant when we first moved to Des Moines. So they are responsible for preparation of cold hors d'oeuvres, pâtés, terrines, and aspics. I don't think they made any aspics there.
Did they?
Aspics are like jellos, right?
Yeah.
Some places I've worked, pantry also handles salads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Preparation of, cold hors d'oeuvres. My next sentence, they prepare salads, they organize large buffet displays, and they prepare charcuterie items. So anything that you'd get straight out of the pantry and assemble it on a plate, that would be
Picnic
the garde-manger. Yeah.
This is bringing back so many memories of being in a slammed restaurant and being instructed by the head chef, like, what to push at your tables because, like, pantry is too backed up or fry is too backed up. And it's like, then they scream at you and you cry if you, like, ring in a burger.
It's so
and it was
fucking
so
stressful. It's so
I loved it.
stressful. Some
That's
people
why they push
live
certain
for that.
things at the table.
A lot of the
thing
time,
that
yes.
Wow.
If there isn't, like, just a special, a lot of the time, either the expo who's on the outside of the line or the head chef running the kitchen will tell you.
So if you ask
what to
a
push.
server what they would recommend, they might just give you total bullshit.
They might.
Yeah.
Or they have their recommendations within each station. That's what we always did. We had our, like, go-to favorites within each station so that we could guide that conversation toward a dish that wasn't going to take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If it was really busy. If it's not busy, then we don't give a fuck. But you don't want to be screamed at by the chef or the expo.
No.
It's not fun. They all have an alcohol problem.
In good kitchens, their specials are very intentional. Okay, so then we have the butcher. A lot of restaurants, including Texas Roadhouse, has an in-house butcher.
That's badass.
Yeah, Corey also worked at Texas Roadhouse. He grilled all the steaks. They have huge flat top grills.
Okay,
And
since
the grill chef?
Yeah.
Since this cat is out of the bag about us being at Obsessed Fest, while we're at Obsessed Fest, can we please go to a Texas Roadhouse in Texas?
I love Texas Roadhouse.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's from Kentucky.
Well, that's weird.
Maybe.
Next time we're in Kentucky, let's do it too. So we can hit all the authenticities.
I have several friends who are high up at Texas Roadhouse. It's actually an incredible company to work for.
Yeah, its headquarters is in Louisville.
That's amazing. Luck. You have been chosen.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know
like-
if it started here, but its headquarters is here.
So
wild.
the person on the grill at Texas Roadhouse and other big steakhouses like that, they obviously grill everything to temp, but they might have 40 steaks going at the same time.
Yeah, all at different temperature requests.
It's fucking crazy.
I can't even imagine that. My butthole is so tight even thinking about that.
He loved
and they
it.
make like
He fucking loved it.
They make like phone games that are like about working in a stressful restaurant or coffee shop where you have to like manage a million people's
thanks.
orders.
No.
I get ads for those all the time, and
My
I'm like,
mom
no.
stopped working in restaurants like when I was born, and
Like
that is
the
still,
day before you were born.
Yeah, like when she was like 8.5 months pregnant
In labor.
with me, and but she had waitressed for a decade plus before that, and her stress dreams are still server dreams.
I
It's
still have
very
server
real.
stress dreams.
Every time.
I haven't served
Every
a table
time.
in like 8 years. I still have. Well, it's not great.
It's so stressful
I don't like it.
and so fun.
Some people
No,
love
thanks.
it. Some people are built for it. I am not.
No.
I'm super not. So in-house butcher, they butcher the meats, the poultry, sometimes the fish. They may also be in charge of breading meat and fish items, breading it before it goes to like the fryer or whatever.
Sure.
Then we have the pastry chef, the pâtissier. In larger kitchens, this role can be split into 4, which is kind of mind-blowing for just pastry items. We have the confiseur. They prepare candies and what's called petit four. I've heard that word before, but I didn't know what it was. It's like a little bite-sized baby.
Yeah, they're like little squares.
They're little babies.
Yummy
And
squares.
petit four means small oven. It's like a little
like an
easy bake. How cute.
That's so cute.
Am I right? That's what Google
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
A four is, the four is the oven. That's exactly right.
Petit four.
That's
Easy
so
bake.
cute. Wait, so does petit four mean like it's an oven
No,
for your crotch?
Spelled differently. Great question.
It gets so
No.
hot down there.
Great question.
Well, I'm thinking like pinafore. Okay, I'm fine.
Metaphor.
I was really close. Pedophile.
Okay.
The HMS Pinafore.
We need to watch that while we're in Vegas. For no reason.
Can you imagine?
My bachelorette activity tonight is we're all gonna gather around the tiny hotel
Watch
TV.
Hunt for Red October.
I love
It's
that
my
movie.
one bridal wish.
The only thing I wanted. That's my
God.
one bridal wish.
Ick. Okay, then we have the glacier. They prepare the frozen and cold desserts. Also, glacier spelled like glacier. Easy to remember.
Glass means ice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's ice cream? Glass?
Yeah.
Glace creme.
Just
That
glass.
was kind of a good guess.
Yeah.
Then we have the décorateur, decorator.
Okay.
They prepare showpieces and specialty cakes, and then the boulanger.
Mm-hmm.
They prepare the bread, the cakes, and the breakfast pastries.
Mm-hmm.
So, like big French restaurants with lots of pastries, they would have all of these people.
That's why there's
Wow.
a difference between like a boulangerie and a pâtisserie in France. Like boulangerie is more just like breads, like normal, like kind of more run-of-the-mill
Bakery.
bakery, and then a pâtisserie is like the like fancier pastry stuff.
Desserts.
Cool.
Yeah. I never, those were like the two vocab words that I both got confused and also was like, which one's the butcher shop? It's one of these.
Nope.
I did great in French class.
You are very
Crushed
good,
it.
actually.
Thanks. So anyway, moving on. Line
So
cook-
anyway, my perfect French.
Line cooks are often divided into a hierarchy of their own, starting with first cook, second cook, down the literal line, and continuing as needed by the establishment. So at Lachelle's, all those boys working on the line, well, they're not all boys now. Yes. We've hired lots of people.
Good.
They're all line cooks, and then like there's the expo on the end. There's someone working the register. Or there's a fry cook.
The expo is the gopher, right?
The expo is the person who like plates it, puts on the garnish, and like puts it in the window to be served.
Yeah,
Oh.
like make sure it gets the fuck out of the kitchen and to the server to the table.
It's
and
an
then
expediter.
yeah, and
Jessica
it
was an
depends-
expo.
Right.
Yeah, it depends on the setup of the kitchen too, where like a lot of times the expo, the tickets for the food will come up and a ticket goes to the kitchen and a ticket goes to the expo, and the expo is the one who like lines up all the tickets on the outside of the kitchen
And the
make
plates.
sure and the plates and like make sure they're working in order and make sure that like tickets for a full table are getting completed and that those items are going to that server to go to that table.
So if something gets fucked up, it's probably the expo.
Well, it depends, but the expo is
There's
going
a
to hear
lot of
about
people
it.
you could blame,
Yeah,
apparently.
the expo is it's like one
it was
of the harder
Glossier!
getting yelled at by the expo
Ma'am,
is like,
this is an Arby's.
sucks because they are always the one who's like screamed at by
Everyone. 'Cause
everyone.
They're right in the middle.
They're in the middle of literally the entire operation.
It's crazy.
I have heartburn. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's very stressful, but it's like when you get into it and you like know how it works and it just like works, it is like a
ADHD
shot
heaven.
of yes,
It's
like
an
heroin.
orchestra.
Like it feels so fucking good to have
When-
like a good busy night where like everything is crushing and everyone is vibing and it just works.
that is a really unique high
It is.
because it's so complicated and so difficult, but when it works like it's supposed to, it's like silk. It's amazing.
It's gorgeous. It is. It's like an orchestra. It's so fucking cool. I love it.
So that's all I have about like chefs. So now I have a little case for us of my own.
Okay.
And today I will be telling you in part about Mario Batali.
Yes.
I think you texted us last night and you said, is anyone covering Marco Battaglia?
Yeah, definitely did.
So I
definitely did
Marco
not say Mario
Battaglia
Batali.
is somebody that I is a friend of a friend who ran for city council
So it
or
was
some shit.
in your brain.
It was just in my head, and it's very close to Mario Batali, so I can be forgiven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So for those who might not recognize either names, Mario Batali had a show on Food Network before Food Network was popular called Molto Mario. He was a co-host of the ABC daytime talk show The Chew. He was on Iron Chef, and he was also involved with Italy.
Love Italy. I don't care if it's touristy. I love it.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
He won multiple James Beard Awards and earned a Michelin star for his restaurant Babbo Ristorante e Enoteca. And I had to look up Enoteca, but it's Italian Greek for wine repository.
Cool.
So this is Babbo restaurant and wine cellar.
Sure.
He is also in the Culinary Hall of Fame, and he was also an early investor in a little 100-seat gastropub in New York City's West Village called The Spotted Pig.
Ever heard of it?
Have you ever heard of it?
Yes. It's the most fucking famous restaurant in the U.S. Everyone fucking talks about the Spotted Pig.
Well, do you know about what
I don't know
happened there?
the story. I
I don't
that
know
there's
I don't know
something
the drama,
sketchy.
but
I don't
yeah.
know what happened.
I don't either.
Yeah, buckle up, ladies. So that restaurant was owned by a guy named Ken Friedman, and their executive chef was a chef from the UK named April Bloomfield, who was already a celebrity chef over there. Friedman and Batali, I already forgot his name, Battaglia. They brought Mario. They brought her over from the UK specifically to be the chef at the Spotted Pig. Here are some details from a bombshell 2017 New York Times article and trigger warning sexual assault.
Oh, yeah.
From almost the day in 2004 that it opened on West 11th Street with the backing of investors like Jay-Z, Michael Stipe, and celebrity chef Mario Batali, the Spotted Pig shot to the top of the list of New York City's hottest restaurants and stayed there. A clubby place whose third floor is a renowned private playroom for hand-picked VIPs, the Spotted Pig has racked up Michelin stars and accolades for its chef, April Bloomfield. In 2016, the James Beard Foundation named Mr. Friedman, known for his charisma and business acumen, its outstanding restaurateur of the year. But in more than 24 interviews with former employees of the Spotted Pig and other restaurants owned by Mr. Friedman and Miss Bloomfield, a dark behind-the-scenes portrait emerged of the owner and the workplace that he runs. Even by the loose standards of the hospitality business, where rowdy drinking sessions after shifts and playful sexual banter are part of the culture,
Everyone's fucking each other.
And high. And drunk.
Yeah, and drunk.
And angry.
Best days of my life.
And horny.
You got to get through those shifts however you can.
Seriously.
Stevie knows.
Stevie knows.
Okay. Despite those things being part of the culture, employees described Mr. Friedman's restaurants as unusually sexualized and coercive.
Great.
10 women said that Mr. Friedman, aged 56, I have photos on the drive of him, which will be on the blog. He is disgusting.
Gross.
He's one of those guys who poses for pictures with his head up.
Ew.
You know what I mean?
Oh my!
It's just
God.
a dominating, daring you to fuck with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Men who pose like that.
Ooh, neck beard.
Okay, so 10 women said that he had subjected them to unwanted sexual advances, groping them in public, demanding sex, or making text requests for nude pictures or group sex.
Good God.
Oh my God.
Many others also said that working for him required tolerating daily kisses and touches,
No.
pulling all-night shifts at private parties that included public sex and nudity, and enduring catcalls and gropes from guests who were Mr. Friedman's friends.
Oh my, he's like a trafficker. Like, come on in and grab my subordinate.
My line cook.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Some of the other specific allegations include running his hands over a server's buttocks and then her groin in a room crowded with customers, joking that he was searching her pockets for a forbidden cell phone.
Disgusting.
Biting a bar manager on the waist as he bent down to duck under the bar.
What?
Fuck.
Grabbing a server's head and pulling it towards his crotch in front of Amy Poehler in 2007 as the server knelt to collect glasses from a low shelf.
To try to be funny in front of Amy Poehler.
Apparently. Oh. I'm not sure why the Amy Poehler thing was in there. Maybe she testified, corroborated this. I don't know. Inviting that same server to his car to smoke weed and almost immediately lunging forward and pushing his tongue into her mouth, pinning her against the door. She thought she couldn't get out.
The Harvey Weinstein of restaurant.
Yeah. This is like beyond deviance and into like full-blown compulsion.
Yeah.
It gets worse, guys. It gets worse.
Oh, fuck.
And to top it off, power dynamics. He boasted about blacklisting people all the time, so his victims were afraid to tell anyone.
Yeah, he's a powerful dude in that industry.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
And so what does this have to do with Mario Batali, you may ask? Employees confirmed that the Spotted Pig was a regular late-night stop for him and that they experienced sexual aggression from him, basically with Friedman's blessing, because they were like buddies. At this time in 2017, Batali had also stepped away from day-to-day operations in his own restaurants and other businesses after multiple reports of inappropriate sexual behavior. So he was independently a fucking
doing his own
on his own.
Yeah.
And he had to step away from his own shit, but then he could still get his jollies off at his buddy's restaurant.
Bingo.
Oh, his jollies. Ugh.
Oh, and I mentioned that private invitation VIP room upstairs on the third floor. Employees nicknamed it the rape room.
Oh my God.
Friedman made it clear that regular restaurant rules do not apply on the third floor, and guests frequently groped female employees there. The restaurant's employees...
Guess what, dude? They do apply. And I hope you go to fucking jail.
We'll get to it. The restaurant's employees claim they frequently witnessed Batali's sexual aggression in the private space, and again, that Friedman knew what was going on. A former manager said that during a party in 2008, she intervened when she saw on the security camera feed, like probably downstairs in the office or whatever, she saw Mr. Batali, who was wasted, groping and kissing a woman who appeared to be unconscious.
Oh my God.
I did not realize the
I didn't know any of this.
Another quote from a former server, quote, "We called him, Batali, the Red Menace. He tried to touch my breasts and told me they were beautiful. He wanted to wrestle.
Oh.
As I was serving drinks to his table, he told me I should sit on his friend's face."
No.
No. So I'm going to come out and say, I have been to this restaurant. I was visiting my cousin, Emily, who at the time lived really close to it.
Yeah, she did.
And we went there and Corey was like, oh, this is supposed to have like one of the best burgers in New York. So of course he wanted to get it. It actually was an incredible burger. It's very tall. It had Roquefort cheese and like shoestring French fries on it.
Listen, rapists can be good cooks.
Well, so we were unaware of this. And then Corey was like, this place was tied with Marco Battaglia. And so we were sitting at the table eating our food. What am I saying? Yeah, whatever. That guy. I'm getting him confused again.
It's amazing because Mario Batali is like a household name.
Yeah.
It's like if you were like, Don Shanks. Over and over again.
I have celebrity blindness. We know
you really do. It is an affliction.
You want one all together?
So while we're sitting there eating our food, which was really quite good, we're reading about this rape room upstairs. We're like, I don't
God.
feel good about this.
Oh, God.
No.
So it stayed open after all this came to light?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I do have a picture of Emily and Corey sitting next to each other. It was right after we read about this, and we're sitting there with our empty plates, and they both just have a really disgusted look on their face.
I've seen that photo. I didn't know the context.
We were at the Spotted Pig.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you don't know.
You don't know.
That was in 2019. In my defense, we'll get to it, but it was not owned by the same people at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Batali, Red Menace, blah, 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 sitting on his friend's face. April Bloomfield herself was criticized for turning a blind eye to all of this bullshit.
Yeah, it's rare to have a head chef as a woman at this, like, fancy-ass restaurant.
Executive chef.
Okay.
But
Honor the hierarchy.
the Brigade.
Potager.
Yum. But a year later, she came out and said that she, too, was a victim of Friedman's constant harassment. So this is from a 2018 New York Eater article. Bloomfield says that she felt she needed Friedman, who'd brought her over from the UK when she had never run a restaurant before, and early on threatened to revoke her work visa over small disagreements. Later, she said she didn't think she could succeed in the industry without Friedman, who, quote, frequently told her that she had become famous and wealthy and that he could undo her success with a few phone calls.
Yeah. He was exerting power over
He's
everyone.
Harvey Weinstein. It's
even
the
someone
same
in a
playbook.
seemingly powerful position. Yeah, he really, it is like
totally.
really fucking similar.
Quote, I felt like I was in a position where he held all the cards. He had so much control and he was so dominant and powerful that I didn't feel like if I stepped away, I would survive. Others hold April significantly responsible for the ongoing harassment, saying that she fully knew about the extent of what was going on and actually actively got people fired in order to silence them.
I mean, both can be true.
Both things can be true.
You know, and probably
it's
are.
fucked up.
Quote, she now says she understands that her silence inflicts its own damages and wants to both tell her story and rebuild her reputation. She said, quote, I failed a lot of people. That's on my shoulders. That 2017 New York Times article led to Friedman taking an indefinite leave of absence, like the day after it came out, which is amazing.
Yeah.
From all of his restaurants, he had 5 in New York City, including the Spotted Pig, and 2 in California, I think in San Francisco. So he fully left, effective immediately. On January 7th, 2020, Ken Friedman agreed to pay $240,000 and 20% of his profits to former employees who accused him of sexual harassment and discrimination. But Tali was fired from the Chew and Food Network. Pretty much all of his business partnerships were terminated because he was everywhere.
Yeah, he's complicit and also doing this on his own.
He's
so
not
he's
just
got to fucking
complicit,
go.
he's perpetrating.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He did both.
Yeah. And he had to pay $600,000 to more than 20 former employees of 3 restaurants in Manhattan.
I feel like that's not enough.
Not
to be
enough,
a
but-
multi-millionaire, but yeah.
This next part's really gonna piss you off.
Great.
In May of 2019, Batali was charged with indecent assault and battery in Boston.
Cool.
In court, the accuser alleged that Batali had groped her in April 2017 at a bar in Boston. Batali pleaded not guilty and chose a bench trial. On May 10th, 2022, so a year ago, Batali was acquitted in Boston Municipal Court by a judge who ruled that Batali's conduct during the alleged incident was, quote, not befitting of a public person of his stature, but agreed with the defense's argument that his accuser had credibility issues and was
because Batali doesn't have credibility issues.
Right.
and was motivated by financial gain to make her accusation. So fuck everything.
Cool,
These men
yeah.
had no serious consequences
That's what we like
considering
to call
what they
a
did.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Yup.
Judge.
Yup.
So that is my case because I have a case today.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't even include this. So the spotted pig was, I believe, sold to a different party in like 2017 or 2018. I was there in 2019, and then it completely shut down, out of business. It does not exist any longer from 2020. I think July of 2020 they closed.
Okay.
So, bye.
Bad bitch.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah.
That's Mario Batali, a.k.a. Marco Battaglia, and Ken Friedman.
Wow.
Cool.
Ick.
And April Bloomfield a little bit. Sorry. A little bit.
Yeah.
It's complicated with
But
April, but it's not right. Of course it's not right.
Well, I mean,
Right.
one of you mentioned like trafficking, and when I think back to
Yeah.
like sex trafficking, like all of them, not all, but most of the like madams and like women traffickers started as victims.
Were trafficked themselves.
Yeah. So at some point, like you do still become responsible for.
Yep. Perpetuating the cycle
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
abuse. Mhm.
And all of those things can be true. And you can still
Absolutely.
make a really great burger.
All right. I can say definitively that neither of you are prepared for my case.
Oh,
I
good.
just opened your photos. I did watch this documentary.
you know.
I'm very excited for you to
Okay.
cover
I've watched
this.
the documentary
Oh,
too.
shoot.
It's fucking crazy.
It's okay, but it's
Damn.
unbelievable, and I can't wait to hear your take on it.
So I actually didn't watch the documentary because I wanted to just like read the articles and tell the
Yep.
story how I see it. And now
Yeah.
after this episode, I'm going to watch it. So okay.
It's good.
It's a bonkers case. So if you haven't
She's
seen it.
batshit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you don't know already, I will be talking about Bad Vegan, aka Sarma Melngalis,
Okay. Malignant.
which is a really tough last name, so I will be mainly just calling her Sarma. Okay.
Sarma M.
So, Sarma Melngalis was born September 10th, 1972 in Newton, Massachusetts.
A Virgo.
Oh.
Her father is originally from Latvia, hence the name, and worked as a physicist at MIT. Her mother was a professional chef who co-founded a 450-acre apple orchard in New Hampshire. And a little
Damn.
bit more on her mom later.
Wow. It's a lot of apples.
Yeah,
A
not
lot
a
of
regular
apple.
mom. That's a cool
She's
mom.
an apple
right there.
mom.
She's an apple mom. Apple mom jeans, boots with the fur.
So, like her parents, Sarma is a smarty pants. She graduates from the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School of Economics in 1994. She then moves to NYC after graduation and works at the investment firm Bear Stearns for a couple years and a few other investments firms like Bain Capital in Boston and then like another one in New York. And she's like financing it up. Okay.
I have a question about Bear Stearns.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a name.
Yeah.
Why would you want an investment firm with the name Bear in it? Because of like a bear,
Isn't it
the
like
bear market?
B-E-A-R?
No, it's BEAR.
It's spelled
Yeah.
the same way. I think it's just somebody's name.
It's just kind of a stupid choice for a like the stock market, the bear and the bull, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't really think about that. 'Cause I'm thinking of a bear as like an aggressive, powerful animal.
And it also means your stocks are going down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
just
never thought
somebody's
about that.
name. Joseph Ainsley Bear and Robert B. Stearns.
Well, didn't think about that, did they?
Yep. Yeah, it might have
Lucy, the queen of the stock market
been
over here.
before we talked about bear and bull markets because it was
Oh.
founded in 1923.
Maybe.
So maybe
Yeah.
we didn't use that terminology yet. I don't know.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. God, I love fucking Wikipedia. Okay. But in the late 1990s, Sarma decides that she is unhappy working in finance and decides to completely change her career. She enrolls in New York's French Culinary Institute, which now has a different name. I think it's like the International Culinary Institute or something, and graduates in 1999. So she is like, I'm done with businessy stuff and I want to be a chef.
Okay.
During her time in culinary school, Sarma meets fellow chef / big deal restaurateur Matthew Kenny, who'd also attended that institute almost a decade prior, but now he has a career and, has already started a restaurant, and the two begin dating. So Kenny specializes in plant-based cuisine, mostly vegan, but I don't know.
It seemed like it was just more to be creative rather than catering to the vegan community,
Yeah.
It was just, right? That's how I interpreted it.
For the restaurant that they found together?
Yeah, for his specialty, their first restaurant, it wasn't specifically for vegans. It was hey, look at all this really cool stuff you can do with plants.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Yes, we will get to the restaurant that they opened together, but yeah, it's plant-based, so it's not strict vegan, and it's also raw. So he was already in the plant-based thing before he met Sarma, and he had already opened a namesake restaurant called Matthew's in New York. He is still a restaurateur. He currently operates more than 50 different restaurants around the world.
Damn.
Jeez.
Some of my
busy bee.
Busy bee. Some of my favorites are Essence Cuisine Shoreditch in London. Shoreditch.
Okay.
Shoreditch is a neighborhood in London.
You're sure to find a ditch on your way home from this restaurant.
Oh my God.
Make in Santa Monica.
Chef, make.
M-A-K-E. Make.
Make.
And the White Lotus.
Remains make.
In Miami.
What?
I know.
We need
Pre-existed.
to go.
Okay, so the lovers begin to collaborate, and in 2001, they open a restaurant called Commissary, but because of 9/11 and the economy and whatever, the restaurant closes in 2003, because 2001 is a really tough time to open a restaurant in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So then they try again, and they have much more success the second time around. In June 2004, Sarma and Matthew opened Pure Food and Wine, New York's first upscale raw food restaurant.
Okay.
So the restaurant does really well. It is listed twice in New York Magazine's top 100 restaurants and ranks 5 years in a row on Forbes magazine's list of all-star New York eateries. It's on all the lists.
Okay.
Everybody loves it. It's like a celeb spot. So celebrities like Alec Baldwin, a lot more on him later.
Oh yeah.
God.
You would be surprised how prominent a role he plays in all of this.
I don't want more Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Nobody wants more Alec Baldwin.
Anne Hathaway, Giselle Bündchen and Tom Brady, Alicia Silverstone, Rooney Mara, Gwyneth Paltrow, all the clean eating.
Of course Gwen was there. Of course Gwen was there.
Of course.
I'm
Gwyneth was there.
I'm obsessed with the TikTok trend right now where people are guessing the things that if Gwyneth Paltrow ate them, how
Send
much
her
they
into
would
a coma.
harm her. Yeah, there's
Straight
a
coma.
scale. It's coma. It's upset stomach, coma, instant death.
Have I told
if-
the anecdote about Gwyneth and Zach's mom?
No.
So, okay, allegedly, don't get sued. Okay.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Ba, 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 ba.
Zach's mom was a location scout for TV and movies for a long time, and she set up a location that was her friend's home because her friend had a really beautiful brownstone, I think. And so they were going to be shooting something there, not a movie, maybe a commercial. It was pre-Goop.
Okay.
And Gwyneth is involved. And on the counter in her friend's kitchen, when they're still setting up for the shoot, is a packet of ramen noodles.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. Get it away from Gwyneth.
And Gwyneth grabbed it. And she's in this woman's home.
It's
she's
not her
a
house.
stranger in a different woman's home.
Yeah.
She grabs the ramen noodles off the counter and goes, "Do you feed this to your children?" And the woman goes,
my
"Sometimes."
Kourtney Kardashian.
God. Yeah, seriously.
And what did Gwyneth said something like, "I would rather like something like I would rather like kill them or like it's pure poison or something like that, and then threw it on the ground.
Ma'am, relax.
It's a cultural dish, first of all.
Well, the packet
my
ramen
God.
is, yeah.
College cultural dish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or I'd rather feed my children poison or something like that.
Jesus Christ, get a life.
Yeah.
Grow up.
She is a psycho.
She is.
But also, like, if I were so concerned about my self-image and if my eating were as disordered as hers is, I'd probably have a few synapses misfiring. She survives on coffee, like a seaweed lozenge and an IV every day.
I'm
It's
surprised she drinks
she's
coffee.
not healthy.
I'm surprised she drinks coffee. That's terrible
does.
for you.
She wants to still be #relatable, so she also like makes a big deal about having like a martini every once in a while and like
Okay.
a
Once every 6
cigarette
years
every
on the full
month or
moon.
something. Yeah,
a cigarette. Oh my God, this woman is insane.
yeah, she's insane. Okay,
Insane.
In the membrane.
In the membrane. I was just about to say that.
all right. So all these celebs are at Pure Food and Wine. Okay, it's doing really
Yeah.
well. In fact, Sarma, Matthew, and their business partner, a guy named Jeffrey Chodoro, who also has a sketchy past, but we don't have time to get into it because there's so much to get into, decide to open a side retail space called One Lucky Duck Juice and Takeaway. This is the mid-2000s. Juicing is like the thing.
It's a big
People
thing,
are
yeah.
spending like $18 on a juice.
A green juice.
Yeah.
God.
Tastes like asshole.
Yeah, no
Put
thanks.
in a blender.
Yeah.
Stuffed with spinach.
It's so good for you.
Oh, I love this ginger shot.
I do love ginger shots, though. I really do.
There's a time and a place.
So, Matthew and Sarma write a cookbook together. It's called Raw Food Real World. They're just, the business is going gangbusters. But soon thereafter, their relationship, both romantic and business, sours. And Sarma would later blame the breakup on Kenny's, quote, irresponsibility with money. Which, like, just remember that line for later.
LOL, Sarma. I guess, game recognizes game.
There was probably like a grain of truth to these claims. So their co-investor Chodoro expressed worries about Matthew Kenny's reputation for not paying his bills totally on time, whereas Sarma had this like business school degree and this finance background, and so the implication was that she should be trusted with all the restaurant money stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go great. So when it's clear that they aren't going to be able to run the restaurant together anymore, Chodoro lends Sarma $2 million so she can buy Kenny out. So
Can you imagine just being able to be like, yeah, you could borrow $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
So the restaurant that was co-owned by like these three or big investors, now they've bought Matthew Kenny out and he out. And now it's Chodoro and Sarma, but Sarma's running it. And Chodoro's just like the money.
Which one is she in a relationship with, or she's not anymore?
She broke up with Matthew Kenny and now he's out of the story.
Okay.
And we're not on to
The other one.
the new love interest yet. So post-breakup, Sarma is #girl bossing it up. She's running Pure Food and Wine on her own. She's running One Lucky Duck. She's working on expansion. She's writing more cookbooks. She's getting her
taking
juice.
yoga.
Yeah. She's getting her juices into major retailers like Whole Foods, which is like where the big money is.
Yeah.
She's doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Now stick with me through this next part because it's super bizarre and it sounds like word salad filler, but I promise it's important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, Sarma meets restaurant regular Alec fucking Baldwin. Yes, that Alec Baldwin. And they start to hang out. First red flag. She then accompanies him to a staged reading of Moby Dick in the Hamptons, which sounds like
whole thing. The whole time.
The whole time.
It can't be
That
the whole
sounds
thing.
Oh, God.
awful. That is the
They'd
worst.
still be there.
Call
Oh,
me. I'm out.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep. So he's dropping hints about how he wants to get married and have more children and like, don't worry, buddy, like
You do.
you will. But Sarma's not feeling it, and she jokes that he should get a dog instead.
I'm sure he loved that.
But this gets her thinking that maybe she should get a dog. So she ends up adopting a pit bull and names him Leon, or like Leon, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Leon is going to be integral to the story.
Yep.
This fucking pit bull who has no clue what is happening in any
No,
of
it's
this.
just this sweet
real
little
cute.
blockhead baby. Yeah.
Do you have a picture of him on the drive?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, he's so cute.
So she...
Oh my God, one ear is up and one ear is down.
I know.
He's a sweet
an
little
angel.
baby boy, but he's just a... Yeah. So she dates somebody else. It doesn't work out. Alec fucking Baldwin is hitting on her. She's not into it. She's got this bad dating history, and she becomes this like slightly obsessed dog mom for a little while. So like her whole
fur
life
baby.
is work and this dog.
She just externalizes her identity at any opportunity.
Yep. She gets swept up real fast.
Yeah.
So in 2011, Alec Baldwin meets Hilaria Thomas
Hilarious.
of Boston at Pure Food and Wine. And then so they meet at the restaurant, which is amazing. And then the next year they marry, and now they have like 7 kids in 10 years.
Ow. Yeah.
So Baldwin
Ouch.
and she didn't have them all.
Irish,
Well, yeah,
Irish
but still.
quintuplets.
Yeah.
Ouch in a million ways.
Yeah. So Baldwin and Sarma are just friends, and he is like an early Twitter adopter, if you recall. He was like the king of Twitter for a while. And he helps her set up her Twitter account and like shows her how Twitter works. And one of her first followers is a guy with the handle at Disciple of Todd. Who is basically just like a reply boy to Alec Baldwin online. He like is always like in Alec Baldwin's
Ass.
Threads.
yeah, trying to be famous.
Ass.
Up Alec Baldwin's ass.
Ass.
But she thinks he's clever and funny, and she follows him back, and they start flirting over Twitter and Words with Friends, which is another Alec Baldwin.
Wow.
I loved Words with Friends.
This is the most mid-2000s
Yes,
shit
it
I've
really
ever
is.
fucking heard.
Juicing, Words with Friends, Twitter.
early
Yeah.
investor for Twitter.
Yeah.
These were the golden days of our youth.
Seriously. Early on, she is impressed that this guy, Disciple of Todd, is
Disciple of Tom.
that he like gets the reference of her dog's name because she named the pit bull Leon or whatever after Leon the Professional, the movie, which is like
an incredible film.
great film, not that niche, not
No.
like that surprising,
Pretty famous.
Yeah, that he gets it.
It was
You
on
are
TBS.
so deep.
It was on TBS like a lot.
Yeah.
Constantly. Right between Shawshank and like The Green Mile.
Yeah.
Standard
you nailed it.
programming. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Disciple of Todd goes by the name Shane Fox online, but we find out later.
Another baby Shane.
baby Shane. But we find out later that his real name is Strangest Than Fiction. No, really. It's Anthony Strangus.
Oh, I thought his name was
Strangest than fiction. I just took you at your quip. Wow.
Yeah.
Anthony Strangest.
Strangest.
Okay.
And he
Don't
is
like
the
that.
strangest dude.
Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. So a little background on
It's so dumb.
The way that Lucy was so excited about this pun and it just burst out of you.
Don't talk to
Talk to strangers.
I was trying to emanate the overbearing mother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk to
It was-
strangers.
It was amazing.
So, okay, this dude, little background on him, because he is fucking bonkers and horrible.
No, he's strangers.
Yeah.
It gets strangers and strangers.
He grew up in a suburb of Boston, much like Ilaria.
Ilaria.
He had a love of gambling at a young age.
Wow. Okay.
His dad was a cop and an abuser. And when Anthony's
weird.
mother tried to leave her husband, he allegedly held the family hostage at gunpoint for 4 hours.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
Anthony learned a lot from his dad.
Blue lives super matter, you guys.
Still, his mother managed to get a divorce, although custody was shared. And in 2004, Anthony, who was then 23 at the time, was still living with his father in Sarasota, Florida, when he met a woman named Stacey Avery at the gym.
Okay.
Oh my God, the number of red flags in that sentence.
Sarasota, gym.
Living with your father, meeting someone at the gym, being 23.
Being 23 is such a red flag.
Red
It really
flag.
is.
Such a red flag. Just
rough
hunker
time.
down. Just hunker down. Don't communicate with anyone.
Don't
in that time.
Don't trust
Don't make any
anyone,
big
BB.
decisions.
Yeah.
Leave society.
Pretty much.
Okay. So Stacey was a young mother who had just recently separated from her husband, and Anthony, recognizing that Stacey was vulnerable, love bombed her so hard that she agreed to marry him in just a few months after they met.
Yuck. No. Yuck. Ew. No.
Part of the love bombing manipulation was telling her that they were reincarnated lovers who had traveled through space and time to find each other again.
Okay.
Which would be kind of his MO. He's very into
The fifth
Other
dimension.
worldly shit.
Mm-hmm.
In another clear abuser move, Anthony pushed Stacey to have a baby right away
Great. Trap it.
and then pawned all of her jewelry
Trap
when she
it.
became pregnant.
Oh, great.
Supposedly in like a, well, we got to pay for the baby, blah, blah, blah. But all the while, he was claiming that he was...
Get a job, guy.
No.
My guy.
Not for
Guy?
Anthony. Jobs are not for Anthony.
Not strangers.
Not Anthony.
Don't be a strangers.
The whole time he was claiming that he was set to inherit $5 million from his aunt, but he just needed money from Stacey until that big inheritance came his way, and then they'd be set for life.
If you send me a money order for $20,000, I'm just going to take 5 and you can keep the other 15.
No, then you'll get 20 more on top.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That too.
So the money did not come, obviously, and they were flat broke, but Anthony refused to get a job. And she has a young kid and is now pregnant. So
But
he also...
only the baby is his.
Yeah,
she
she
has
has a kid from her first
From a
marriage.
previous marriage, yeah.
Yeah. So he also started saying dark things like how you could kill a baby by giving them salt and it, quote, wouldn't show on an autopsy, which is like,
Oh my
No,
God.
there's no, I mean, I bet you could kill a baby that way. It's not hard to kill a baby,
Oh my God. No.
but I bet it would show on an autopsy. This guy's also a fucking moron.
Ugh.
I'm going to quote you saying it's not hard to kill a baby.
I mean, they're
It's not.
kind of hard to keep them alive.
They're helpless little baby beings.
Oh.
Little blobs.
Just little sensitive little bean bags for like
Yeah.
6+ months.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after he said that to her, she never left her children alone with him, but she still wasn't quite ready to leave the relationship because it's an abusive relationship and she's being
Yeah.
manipulated.
Yeah.
So Anthony moves into Stacey's house and he starts to act more and more bizarre, often telling her that people were out to get him, you know, all this stuff. But he's not actually paranoid. Like, he doesn't believe the bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Right. It's all manipulation.
Yeah.
To get her to feel for him and
Yeah.
be afraid for him and
Yeah. Want to
Yeah,
protect
yeah.
him and da-da-da.
yep.
So Stacey eventually falls behind on her mortgage in 2005, and she finds that all of her electronics have been pawned. So she has like nothing that she has no like assets that she can try to get money from anymore because he's
Right.
taken them all.
Yeah.
So once he had milked her for everything she had, Anthony ups and leaves. He abandons Stacy with their 8-month-old son and disappears off to find new prey.
Cool.
Oh.
Bye.
Good choice of words.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, so we're back to Sarma now. That's just background on Anthony. Sarma is a successful, accomplished, well-educated, beautiful woman. And when she first met Anthony in person in November 2011, she thought he looked, quote, a little rougher than his online persona.
Persona.
Wasn't quite like the pics.
Don't look exactly
yeah.
like the pics, but
But she,
guess this is fine.
but she, quote,
Deep no.
she, quote, didn't want to be superficial, so she gave him a chance.
No, just be superficial. Just be superficial.
Trust your judgmental gut.
Mm-hmm.
According to Strange's mother, he was living in a van outside of Boston at this time.
Down by the river.
Jesus.
No. No.
Mhm. But what he lacks for in looks or personality or wit or charm or
I could go on.
he makes up for in confidence.
Oh, God. Don't they always?
Okay.
So he's basically Rasputin. Like, he's
Oh.
disgusting, but he just, like, worms his way into her life and then is, like,
Latched.
and, like he's just a really good con man.
Mhm.
He's been called Svengali-like manipulator.
Okay.
He is Rasputin, basically.
yeah, he is Rasputin.
So Strange's quickly picks up on the fact that Sarma is worried about her finances and how she's going to pay back her like multi-million-dollar loans from her investors, and that's weighing on her a lot. And so Anthony claims that he will help her pay back all the money and more.
Sure he will.
But like obviously the exact opposite happens.
Yeah.
So once he feels that she's really on the hook, Strange's begins weaving some really fucking wild stories, and Sarma somehow becomes brainwashed and starts to eat it all up.
She's impressionable.
She's really impressionable.
She's so impressionable.
I find it really interesting that like she falls for a con man, Alec Baldwin falls for a con woman.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway, if you recall, dated a con man who for several years before he went to prison. Like it all came out.
Gwyneth is basically a con woman.
Gwyneth is basically a con woman. They all
It's a
just,
con
like,
ring.
congregate at this fucking raw food restaurant.
Cool.
Vegan cons.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. Anyway.
It is.
Weird thread of connectivity.
So, Anthony tells Sarma that he is a, quote, other than human, an OTH.
Oh my God.
So he's like a
lizard?
like a being. I don't know, not like a vampire, but like
An alien?
something
Great.
on a different plane of
Okay.
existence, whatever. And that they had been headed towards each other for the last 1,000 years.
No, he basically said the exact same thing to Stacy.
Yeah.
Go fuck
This is just
yourself.
his fucking playbook.
Yeah. He
Get
also-
a little more creative. It's so fucking
Seriously,
dumb.
these fucking idiot manipulator men who just regurgitate the same bullshit on a new victim on a cycle of like every 6 years
It works.
under the full moon. I can't. I'm so annoyed. It's just such a lack of creativity. Like,
If it ain't
fucking
broke,
try.
Don't fix it.
Ugh.
Yeah. Very true.
He also claimed, he does get creative.
He does.
I
but-
wouldn't. The one thing I'll give this man is that he gets pretty creative.
Oh.
Okay. We'll let him have that.
He also claims that he can make her beloved dog, Leon, immortal like him because he's an other than human and immortal.
If someone offered to make Josie immortal, you'd probably take him
Wouldn't
up on
you
that.
explore it?
there's a wasp. There's a wasp.
Oh, I see
Oh
it.
my God, I see it. Oh my God.
There's always some calamity with that woman.
What the fuck? I saw it like
It
hovering.
was right by her face.
Oh my God.
Spray!
She can't hear us.
No one wants you here.
Keep it in.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it in.
He'll find a place to sit down. It's fine.
We have to keep recording.
Yeah. It'll
How
settle
have you
down.
not plugged your beehole yet? I thought you'd plugged that beehole.
I did. Apparently it wore off. I live in an old house.
Beehole-ish.
You need to watch Parks and Rec. There's a whole beehole episode. It's hilarious.
I would love it. Okay.
You'd
Oh,
fucking
you
love
guys
it.
tell me that like every week.
I know. And we will continue to do so until you bend to our whims.
Oh my God. Okay. All
Amanda,
right.
you also wanted me to watch that fact or fiction show.
Yeah, I really do. You'd love it. It's so stupid.
Okay. Go, 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 go. Go, little wasp. Go, wasp. No.
It'll settle down. Do wasps sting? Oh, yeah, they
Yes. It's all they do.
do. Then
okay.
just don't touch it. It's fine.
Okay. Oh God, I'm gonna have hives. Okay.
Hives. Ha. Beehives. Get it?
So
Don't get hives on your beehole.
Oh my God.
I quit. Okay. So he can make her dog immortal, but
Right.
she has to pass all of his tests first.
The dog does?
No. Sorry.
Oh, Sarma.
Oh, okay.
The dog is blissfully ignorant.
Great.
Also, when she passed all of his tests, she would be able to join his family, which
No.
conveniently is like an organization that's in charge of the entire universe.
Your alien in-laws.
And
I'm
she
good.
would take her seat at
New
the
band name, I call it.
at the table as his queen,
Ugh,
and then
okay.
receive $100,000 a month forever.
Wait, what?
There's a salary for this position.
Honestly, great offer. I'm in. Let's go.
but equally have access to unlimited resources. So
Never accept the first offer.
If Succession has taught me anything.
also $100,000 a month for life. It's just like, yeah, it's a
Where
lot
did
of money, but like
Land
it's
on
also
that
so
number.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, the series of
Could
the
we
tests.
make it 120?
Best I can do is 100 grand.
And unlimited resources.
Are we
Right.
talking paid? Is that before tax? Okay,
Health
Yeah.
benefits.
dental.
Yeah. Gonna need to see
I'm
the
a raw
dental
food
plan.
vegan. I'm gonna need dental.
Stock options.
A lot of crunching.
So much
Really hard on the
crunching.
teeth.
Everything I eat is raw. I need dental.
Gonna crack a crown.
I have no calcium. I'm gonna break a bone.
Oh my god. Okay. So this series of tests, cosmic endurance tests, included lending him money,
Oh, okay.
giving him oral sex while blindfolded,
Right. That's important.
Jesus Christ.
That's important. Yeah.
So fucking stupid.
Men are the fucking dumbest. They're so dumb. I can't.
so basic.
Ugh.
Asking strangers to invest in her company repeatedly, which was really just like a practice in humiliation for her. He knew that she hated doing that, so he just like made her do that. Moving all of her possessions into a storage unit, probably so that he could access them without her knowing and pawn
And
them.
pawn it, yeah.
Or like lock her out of it.
1,000%.
Yeah, just like have all her shit.
It's control all of her
Yeah.
shit.
He then started sending her random texts asking for $20,000 or $30,000. And when she would pause or like question that ridiculous amount of money or why he needs it or like, why does he need it so fast? He would reply, quote, "You are back to valuing money and the rest over me, us and the happily ever after. Stay the course." He would
Ugh.
constantly be like,
No, I'm good.
He would constantly be like, you told me you wanted happily ever after. Like, this is how you get it.
This is how you get it. Yeah. Oh my God. What a psycho.
So
Forgot how much I hated this fucking guy.
Yeah.
So Anthony claimed that he too had undergone the endurance test, and after he passed is when he became a magical creature / force in the universe with otherworldly powers. So she just needs to stay the course to become magic.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
He also said that he had a secret half-brother who was watching her constantly, and if she ever failed the test or she ever, like, you know, spoke out or whatever, forces controlled by his powerful brother would gut him and come for her.
Okay. I'll take my chances.
I'd be a victim too.
Yeah, exactly. He could also tell at a glance if people were red shirts, bad, or blue shirts, good. And that some of Sarma's family and employees were, red shirts.
No. Uh-oh.
Red shirts.
Red shirt alert. Uh-oh. It's so dumb.
Tell me you wrote that in your notes. Where, red shirts.
But again, that's just like classic, like
weird.
abuser, like isolating tactic, whatever. But again, if she would just stay the course and pass the test, then all of her dreams would come true, including like an immortal dog and 100,000 other lives, and making a documentary that would help end factory farming and grow her vegan brand all over the world, and blah 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 blah.
Jesus. And infinite chocolate truffles for everyone.
Yes, Mummy, yes.
Turkish delight, my favorite.
Lots of chocolate for
my
me.
wine. Lots of cow making lots of wine.
In one enormous chair.
One face, one man, one face.
If I just give him head blindfolded, I'll get one enormous chair.
A month. This
One
is the
face,
like
one
third
man's,
time.
one feet.
This is like the immortal doggo would be lovely. It's like the third time I've sang that song at random in the last week. No joke.
And one immortal dog.
Doggo and did be lovely. Lovely.
Jesus. Okay.
Lovely.
Okay. So interestingly, given how important
It would be lovely. To be fair, though, it would be lovely.
I love it. One immortal dog.
All right. Interestingly, given how important veganism was to Sarma, Anthony never even pretended to go along with her lifestyle.
No.
He was decidedly not vegan and would eat tons of junk food all the time. He especially loved, and this is the most egregious part of this whole case, Subway tuna sandwiches with extra mayo. Which, yes, is a war crime.
It's like that teenager who worked at Subway I told you about. The guy asked for extra mayo. Like 3 times he wanted more mayo. So the guy behind the counter got so sick of it. He just went while making eye contact with the customer. It's like that's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Disgusting. She's a raw food chef. Disgusting. Okay. He preempted.
I can smell this.
Me too.
Just wrapped in a yoga mat.
So he preempted any criticism for this by saying that he was gaining a lot of weight as one of her tests, that it was intentional, and that she
You better still fuck me.
That she was,
Even if I smell like Subway tuna.
she was supposed to be disgusted by him and his body, which he frequently called his meat suit.
No! No, he didn't.
He did.
Well, he's an other.
He's an other than human.
Other than human.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm in shock.
I don't remember half of these details from the show. Oh, it's so gross. I'm so hot.
So, okay, this part is really fucked up. So
This part?
I mean, it's all really fucked up. There's a lot to squeeze in, so it gets a little wonky. According to a friend of hers, early on in their relationship, he didn't pull out while they were having sex, which like he was supposed to. And this is, again,
that's rape.
classic abuser move.
Mm-hmm.
And she became pregnant. Without telling him, she did have an abortion in January 2012. Like, good for her. She broke up with him later that year, telling him about the abortion and calling him a liar. So she had this like moment of clarity. But the breakup doesn't last.
About time, girl. God.
By the end of that year, 2012, in December, they actually get married. And there's like some dispute over why they got married. And like claims have been made that it was just because he
manipulated her into
he
it.
Definitely manipulated her into it. But there were claims that it was like because she had transferred him all this money and he was claiming that he needed to transfer her a large sum of money, which of course would never happen. But like that was the claim. And it was such a large sum of money that like the bank fees would be a lot. So it just makes more sense. We should just be married and it's all one, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. But they get married. She tells almost no one in her life about this marriage. So she knows.
She's ashamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After tying the knot, Stranges makes Sarma give her computer passwords to a tech expert named Will Richards, which actually just gave him access to her email, cell phone, bank accounts, everything. He would gaslight her, saying that she couldn't trust her own memory because of the Ambien that she had taken. Like,
got it.
Just all the stuff.
Great.
So over time, Sarma transfers more than $1.6 million from her business accounts to her personal accounts. And Stranges spent at least $1.2 million of that money at Connecticut casinos.
Oh my God.
Connecticut?
I know.
Of all places.
Well, they live in New York, so he has to like be somewhere where he can't be too far away from her to control her.
Atlantic City.
Yeah, but Connecticut might even be closer than going down to Atlantic City.
It's like Mystic Lake.
He has a gambling addiction, so I don't think he really cares where the like craps table is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about the trip.
The vibe matters, though.
He's not renting a cabana and seeing
The
Chris
vibe
Angel.
doesn't matter when you have a gambling addiction.
I guess.
Does not matter.
So at one point he sent her to Rome to complete one of his tests. And really he just wanted her out of the country. And so while she was gone, he would show up at Pure Food and Wine restaurant more and more and demand to take the money that day so that he could deposit it at the bank.
Yeah, but he was just gambling with it.
Just a wad of cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, well, I'm the owner's husband, so I own this restaurant too. I'm emptying the till. I'm supposed to deposit this money.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And
And what are they going to do? They can't do anything about it.
Yeah, at one point, an employee like actually saw him like just like take the money and just like piece off in an Uber.
Literally run.
Yeah.
Literally take the money and run.
Yeah. So about 5 different times he texted employees at the restaurant telling them to meet him at the bank with the cash for the day and receipts. It would be like between like $3,000 and $10,000 a day. And then they like saw that he did not enter the bank. He just left.
Yeah.
He would just kind of act like the boss of the restaurant when Sarma wasn't there. And he held meetings and told the staff that he was taking ownership of the company, like when she wasn't there. This continued throughout 2014. Eventually, she's embezzling so much money from her own company that she's unable to pay her employees for several months.
Oh,
That's not good.
And they're
Not
like
good.
restaurant.
Yeah,
They
they're
need
living
that.
paycheck to paycheck in a lot of cases anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By 2015, Pure Food and Wine employees began to picket after not receiving their paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
So this starts to get outside attention.
Yeah, the optics of that are not great.
Yeah. So Sarma goes back to her investors and asks for more money to be able to reopen the restaurant and pay her staff. She told them that she had needed money the previous year to help her mother, but actually, it was all going to Strangest, and Strangest had actually stolen like $400,000 from Sarma's mom.
Oh, for God's sakes.
It's fucked up.
What a
It's all
fucking
going to
grifter.
like Foxwoods
Seriously.
Casino to pay
Yeah.
his
Oh,
debts.
Foxwoods.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
Foxwoods?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she like gets even more money from investors, but the restaurant closes for good in July 2015. 84 workers were owed up to $3,500 each.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. At the time of the closing for a total of over $40,000, and she owed $400,000 in New York State sales tax.
Oh, she wasn't paying taxes either.
She wasn't paying taxes, she wasn't paying her employees, and she was not paying back investors. It was just all going to Anthony and his gambling problem.
Ugh.
And the necromancer, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
And one immortal dog.
So,
the
the penny hasn't quite dropped yet that like this man
He's a
ruined everything.
he's a thief and like an emotional terrorist.
Yeah. So she's still with him, but like everyone is pissed at her, all of her investors, all her friends, her family, the bank, the IRS, everyone.
I mean, and I understand like the power of manipulation, but it would be really hard as someone who was damaged in that situation as well to be like, how could you be this dumb? Like, how could you not see how fucked up this was and let everything go so far?
There are a
It
lot
makes
of
like
people
I question
still-
her. Yeah.
There are a lot
After
of people-
watching the documentary, I was like, I don't know, girl. It's tough. When you watch it, I'm really curious to circle back with you on what you think because like hearing this story from her is very weird.
It is.
It's very
a
weird.
lot different.
Well, I don't think we can relate to that type of brainwashing and manipulation. It's like you're either susceptible to it or you aren't. And it doesn't make any sense. Like I talked about this on the show before, but there's a movie now based on a real life con man, and I forget the name of the movie, but it stars James Norton, who is like so yummy and amazing. And that con man manipulated, a dozen people over like 2 decades, but he like convinced all these like students that they were training to be MI5 agents and to like root out IRA terrorists and all this stuff, and like at least that's of this world. Like at least those are real things. Like the MI5
There's no aliens involved.
Yeah, it's not immortality. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But people go for different shit. So
They really do.
the couple goes on the lam, and they end up driving across the country from Miami to Las Vegas, eventually to Tennessee. And during this time, they're like asking Sarma's mother for more and more money to like stay afloat.
Yeah, she's like, you stole money from me. Like, I'm tapped, girl.
Well, I kind of jumped ahead, I guess. I guess this is when they get $450,000 from Sarma's mom and Sarma's mom's like friends. Sarma like he tells the mom about the abortion. He claims that Sarma's bulimic and that she's on antidepressants, which like he probably put her on, and the Ambien. And he was like, we need this money or she's going to have a nervous breakdown. And the mom gives almost $500,000. So Sarma is fucking depressed. I wonder why. And they're living in hotel rooms in Tennessee and ignoring all calls and messages. And they end up in a hotel near Dollywood.
Yes.
Lux.
In Sevierville, Tennessee / Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which I have been to.
Sevierville. Oh my God.
It's just the name of the town. Pigeon Forge. And they're there for 40 days.
And 40 nights.
Yeah. And if you know the area, it's just like chain restaurants and like Dollywood and like hillbilly Vegas. It's amazing. So this is how they get caught.
Okay.
Anthony Strangus orders a pizza from fucking Domino's.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about this. Yes.
And he uses his real name. And this, which like you don't have to use your real name ordering a pizza.
He wants to apply his rewards, so he's got to log into his account.
Yeah.
Also,
You know he has an account.
The most opposite of a raw food vegan cuisine. Fucking
Was
Domino's
it a meat lover's pizza?
Probably.
Tuna with extra mayo pizza.
No.
And this alerts police to their location because they are fugitives. They're arrested and extradited to Rikers Island in New York. Sarma makes bail, but Anthony does not. And he spends the next year in jail. I think
he took all of her fucking money.
I think
her mom probably helped her out or
parents
something.
probably helped her and refused to bail him out. Thank God.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So they were charged with second-degree grand larceny, second-degree criminal tax fraud, first-degree scheme to defraud, and violation of labor laws and more. There were like 24 counts in their indictment. They both end up taking plea deals. Strangus pleads guilty to 4 counts of grand larceny in the 4th degree and was sentenced to 1 year in jail and 5 years probation. He also had to pay $840,000 to investors, but like he has never had a job in his fucking life, so he will never.
Yeah, so good luck.
Yeah. He'll just have to scam someone else for that money.
Yeah, you got to stamp a lot of license plates to pay back $840,000.
Because he had not been released on bail, he ends up getting out for time served. So he never gets charged for defrauding Sarma's mother. Sarma pleads guilty to the charges of grand larceny, criminal tax fraud, and scheme to defraud in exchange for 5 years probation and just 4 months in jail. And she serves this time in the summer of 2017. After she was released from prison, she finally divorces him. So it was like this time away from him, she was able to actually fucking realize that she had been brainwashed. And she moves to Harlem with her dog. She's still got the dog.
Well, he didn't do anything wrong.
No?
Well, no, he didn't.
She's now
Poor immortal baby.
planning to leave New York and work on a memoir. And one of the reasons that she wants to write the memoir is that she feels that parts of the documentary Bad Vegan, especially the ending, were deliberately misleading. And there's like a very long blog post about this linked on her Instagram page. But like, I don't know, take everything with a grain of salt. Who knows? It's all a mess.
I'm really excited for you to watch it and then let us know.
I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it on the plane.
Good idea, because it's good. It's really good, but she's she's different.
I cannot relate to this woman on any level besides like loving your dog. I don't think I have anything else in common with this woman. So yeah,
You're both blonde.
We're blonde, bottle blondes. Yeah, that's the story. It's insane. I kept getting to the next part, and I was like, "Ooh, Alec Baldwin! Oh my god! Oh, like it just kept getting weirder.
Yeah,
meat suit. Okay.
Yup.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nice. Thank you for the reminder of how fucking bonks this these people are. Jesus. The pizza.
The Domino's pizza is how they
The
got
Domino's
caught.
pizza being the Domino's being the downfall. The Domino's fell, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Awesome. Are you ready for my case?
Yeah.
I don't know. This episode's already
mean-
been a whirlwind.
You are ready for my case because I actually briefly discussed this in a GAC episode as one of my headlines.
Ooh.
But this story has more heft to it than could have been covered in a little gacker. And so I'm going deeper today. And you will know pretty quickly what headline this is, so I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to edge you.
Gross.
Okay?
Hey.
We're edging. All right?
Yep.
Edging. We edge
Chef-
here at Wine and Crime.
We edge here at Wine and Crime. Chef Daniel Brophy was a beloved culinary leader in Oregon. He had been in the industry for over 50 years, starting as a teen, working his first job ever in a restaurant. His depth of knowledge and skill went beyond what was put on a plate, with colleagues describing him as, quote, an expert in marine biology, a master gardener, and a mushroom expert.
Luck.
Yeah.
I love this person. Am I allowed to love them?
Yep.
Okay.
In his 12 years as a culinary instructor with the Oregon Culinary Institute, which is now closed, he was known to be the most, quote, active faculty member, leading field trips, organizing student projects, and speaking in the community. He was hands-on with his students and passionate about teaching them about where food comes from, taking students on mushroom foraging trips, growing as much of his own produce as possible, and even learning beekeeping, his beehole.
Ugh.
Wasps
Already
don't
preoccupied
make
about
honey.
my wasp. I know. All they do is sting.
Yeah. All they do is sting, no matter what. And incorporating his own honey into recipes. One student later reflected, quote, he was both the biggest pain and the biggest inspiration I had. He was also one of the smartest, most thoughtful people I've ever met and would take the time to help with whatever you needed. So it came as a massive shock when Daniel was found dead in one of the educational kitchens at OCI, having suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the chest in what was ruled a homicide.
Is this all about
Sheesh.
mushrooms?
No. There were no signs of motive at the scene, no evidence of a scuffle, a kerfuffle, or of assault, like other than him being shot in the chest, obviously.
No signs
which
of
is-
assault.
which was a
Nothing
big one.
happened.
But like no
Move on.
fight.
Not to
No
see
like
here.
no like bruising
Yeah.
or any other, there were no other like defensive
Bowls
wounds or
overturned.
yeah, no tables overturned, nothing. Daniel's wallet was still in his pocket with nothing missing from it. He had his cell phone, his like seemingly they were notable, so maybe expensive sunglasses, and his car keys, and his car was still parked out front and untouched when police arrived on the scene.
So he just was shot dead.
Yeah, there's like no motive that they could determine from the scene alone. This
Weird.
poor man's murder was just a complete mystery. His colleagues, friends, and family were devastated, and the police didn't seem to understand what had happened. His wife, Nancy, reflected on her life with him, saying, quote, I can't tell you when I fell in love with my husband, but I relate to the moment I decided to marry him. I was in the bath. It was a big tub.
Lucky.
I expected him to join me when he was delayed, I called out, are you coming? And his answer convinced me he was Mr. Right. Yes, but I'm making hors d'oeuvres.
Oh my
I got
God.
chills.
Can you imagine spending the rest of your life without a man like that?
No.
And honestly, Nancy,
so
no.
nice.
I cannot imagine not spending the rest of my life with a man like that. And while I never invite Bill to join me in the bath, I frequently invite him to deliver snacks to me while I am sober.
Yeah,
I
he
need to be
does.
more demanding about my bath snacks.
You really
I'm
do.
not a,
And get
I'm
him
not
to
a
make you a bath bowl.
snacker in the tub, but I'll occasionally, have a glass of wine or something in the tub.
I do
Usually
need a
I
bath
just
bowl.
want lots and lots of ice water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It gets sweaty in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In the wake of his death, a vigil was held for him at the OCI, and many members of the culinary world came forward to share their memories and condolences. Stacy Givens, the owner of the Side Yard Farm and Kitchen, where Brophy was a poultry slaughter instructor, shared a post on Instagram that read, quote, I have no words to describe the heartbreak I am feeling right now. Today, this world lost one of the best humans I've ever known, and Oregon Culinary Institute lost a top-notch chef instructor that touched so many lives. Chef Brophy has been a mentor to me through my culinary and farming career. He taught me how to humanely slaughter my first flock of chickens, set up my first beehive, and was always there for me. Set up my first beehole. And was always there for me through some really hard times. I saw him not just as a friend, a teacher, and inspiration, but as family. Wow. So, like, he was really loved.
Yeah. This is so shocking and just out of left field and, like, in the place where
his
was
educational kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fucking sad. Chef Daniel wasn't the only artist in the family, though. His beloved wife, Nancy, was an artist as well, with her medium being pen and paper. She was an author, and her favorite genre to publish was romantic suspense.
Ooh.
She published titillating essays on her website and several short sex novels. In 2011, she published The Wrong Brother, which, according to Amazon, is the first of 5 in the Wrong Never Felt So Right series.
Amazing.
The Wrong Brother.
And yes, I will read you the synopsis. I thought you'd never ask.
Thank God.
This is like the back flap.
Yeah, Wrong never felt so right.
In my back flap.
Ish.
Remember
Around
that time
on the back flap.
came in my back flap? Okay. It's not what
Are
this...
you coming? No, I'm making order.
Yes, in your back flap. Okay.
Gross.
Quote. The small Texas town of Riggers is a safe haven where nothing happens. Rigorous.
A fictional town called Riggers.
I don't know if it's fictional. There could very well be a Texas town called Riggers. I don't know.
I'll get to the bottom of it. Go on.
Yeah. At least that's the way Navy SEAL Zach Pritchard remembers it. He's home on leave and determined to avoid his brother's girlfriend, Chloe LaRousse. If he can just walk his sister down the aisle and quickly leave, everything will be great, or so he thinks. Except his brother's life is in the toilet. Gordy has dropped out of college and picked up a gig that promises quick money and is only a little illegal. And everyone is a little vague about the status of Chloe and Gordy's life, including the two of them. Chloe is not at all the woman Zach thought. The girl who figured prominently in his fantasies for the past couple of years was not a graduate student with hermitic lifestyle, majoring in sex education. He's stunned to find a woman with an in-depth knowledge of sexual technique and yet knows nothing about men or relationships or life beyond the classroom.
Oh my God, this is so gross.
It's awful. Many situations involving thwarted ambitions, fraternal competition, drugs, and race cars work out well. Unfortunately, this one has some problems.
Yeah, it's some continuity problems.
A lot of problems.
There's not a Riggers, Texas.
Okay, well,
Yet.
way to go, Nancy. Yet. The remaining titles in this series, in sequential order, are The Wrong Hero, The Wrong Cop, The Wrong Husband, and The Wrong Seal. Small towns hide biggest secrets. And yes, I could spend the rest of this case reading titles and excerpts, and I'm not saying I'm not doing that, but I'm also going to get back to the true crime part, though these books are also a crime.
Yeah.
And that must be noted.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with this genre.
No, but this writing
books.
is horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real bad.
She published short essays online with frequency on her website, almost always sexy and almost always with a thriller twist.
And a brother.
And a brother. The wrong brother. Little did she know, she was about to be the star of one of her own published short works, How to Murder Your Husband.
There it is. Got it. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Wow.
She posted this essay to her website in 2011, and yes, I have it, and yes, I'm going to read it to you. Quote, as a romantic suspense writer, I spend a lot of time thinking about murder and, consequently, about police procedure.
As a romantic suspense writer.
Yeah, Yep.
As a true crime podcaster, I spent a lot of time thinking about hermetic
Murder.
sex vixens.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Hermetic sex ed teachers
Hermetic.
who know nothing about men.
Nothing about men. After all, if the murder is supposed to set me free, I certainly don't want to spend any time in jail. And let me say clearly for the record, I don't like jumpsuits, and orange isn't my color.
For a writer, she's really bad at writing.
She's not a writer.
The worst. Motives. So she now breaks down like why someone would murder their husband. 1, financial. This is big. Divorce is expensive. Do you really want to split your possessions? Or if you married for money, aren't you entitled to all of it?
No, literally no.
Literally no.
I mean, not according to my prenup.
I spent a lot of time
The drawback
thinking about this.
is the police aren't stupid. They are looking at you first. So you have to be organized, ruthless, and very clever. Husbands have disappeared from cruise ships before. Why not yours?
Hey.
Not wrong about that.
Yep.
She's not. 2, lying, cheating bastard or deception of any sort. This is a crime of passion. In anger, you bash his head in or stab him with a kitchen knife. Most of the time, there is a trail that leads directly to you. Each type of murder leaves clues. A crime of passion does not look like a stranger was involved. And who is left to clean the blood from your carpeting?
I feel like this woman is the original like beta chat GPT where like every
Totally.
word that follows is like, I guess according to an algorithm, a likely next word, but it
Yep.
doesn't like really work.
It was all written with iPhone's predictive text function.
Like it's logarithmic, but like
Yeah.
why?
Yep.
That is the
3,
most accurate thing.
Yeah.
fell in love with someone else. Usually financial is also involved here. Let's say your church frowns on divorce. You need to be a widow so you won't fall out of favor with your religion.
Yeah.
At this point,
Religion doesn't care about murder.
yeah. At this point, I should mention that it helps if you aren't too burdened by the 10 commandments.
All right, she does address,
One in
address
particular.
that query. Okay.
Yeah. 4, abuser. This one is tough. This really shows that she's totally a piece of shit. But anybody can claim abuse. What is abuse? To a teenager, it might look different than to a spouse. As a motivation, this reason usually comes up after you've been arrested. Not a lot of abused wives dial 911 upon burning the house with their husband in
So
it.
she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
No.
Piece of shit. Okay.
Number 5, it's your profession. Now we're talking. You already
You're talking.
possess. You are indeed talking. You already possess both skill and knowledge. You have the moral ambiguity necessary to carry it off. Quick hit and you fade from the scene. Get your payment up front from someone else because the life insurance probably won't send a check.
So this is becoming a hit woman for others?
What is
I
that?
don't know.
paying you?
She's going over the 5 key ways and reasons to kill your husband first.
Right.
These are her motives. I don't know.
I guess-
But being a hitman is not a motive. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. Don't try to go deeper on it.
Also,
She's
if you get
not
away with
smart.
it, life insurance will definitely
Will
send
pay
a
it
check.
out.
But if you're a hitman, you aren't going to get paid out by the life insurance policy.
Well, then that's muddied.
That's a totally
Don't try
different.
to break
Okay.
it down, you guys. It's stupid and it doesn't
So
make sense.
dumb.
Moving on. Options to consider. Guns. Loud, messy, require some skill. If it takes 10 shots for the sucker to die, either you have terrible aim or he's on drugs.
What?
He has like
I've never seen
drug strength.
anyone be this bad of a writer.
It's so bad.
And call yourself a professional writer.
Knives, really personal and close up. Blood everywhere. Ew. Garrote.
Uh-oh.
How much upper body strength does it require to strangle a person?
A lot.
Less with a garrote.
True. Random heavy piece of equipment. Usually this involves hitting someone hard with the baseball bat or the pipe wrench you just happen to have in your hand. Poison. Considered a woman's weapon. Arsenic is easy to obtain. Worse, easy to trace. It takes a month or 2 to kill someone. Plus,
Not
they are
necessarily.
sick the entire time. Who wants to hang out with a sick husband? Knowledge of pharmaceuticals would be handy.
I'm coming around to her.
She does make
She's
a
not
good
wrong.
point. Just get it done, quick and dirty.
You think the man flu is bad?
Oh, the arsenic man flu
My
is way
husband
worse.
will not shut up and complaining after I poisoned him with arsenic for a
When will
month.
this poison kick in? I'm over it. Availability would be even better. A word of caution, watch out for poisons found in nature. They are not a sure thing. Too little, too much. Your mother always told you to marry a doctor. Now you know why.
No, that's the opposite.
That's
if you're trying to kill
I'm not going to say it again.
I've got no... This is so
Married.
fucking stupid.
It's so stupid. Hiring a hitman. Do you know a hitman? Neither do I. And an amazing
I
number
might.
of hitmen.
Number 5. Me.
And an amazing
Me.
number of hitmen rat you out to the police or blackmail you later.
An amazing number.
Mm-hmm. Hiring a lover. Never a good idea. The husband dies and the wife gets the money. The lover doesn't always win in this scenario. Sometimes he, too, finds himself facing a loaded gun.
Oh.
Ditto
I
for the
find-
lover's
Twist.
roommate.
Exactly. I find it is
Maybe
easier
it's
to...
the wrong lover.
Maybe. The wrong brother lover.
Brother lover. Oh, ew.
The
Yum.
wrong brother lover.
Brother lover.
I don't like brother lover.
I'm a brother lover. You're a brother
Stop.
lover.
That sounds incestuous and I don't like it.
Oh, gross.
I don't even have a brother to love, so I can be a brother lover. We're all safe. We can all be brother lovers.
God.
Sometimes he too finds himself facing a loaded gun. I find it is easier to wish people dead than to actually kill them. I don't want to worry about blood and brains splattered wrong on my walls. And really, I'm not good at remembering lies.
Not good at
but-
much.
They're not good at much. But the thing I know about murder is that every one of us have it in him/her when pushed far enough. What
Have
constitutes a good romantic suspense is the whys. What happened that forced a person into this situation? How will they justify this action? I love that she says the most important thing is the whys and then doesn't mention why at all.
What and how?
By the way, he needed killing is not a legal defense. Can they keep a secret? A confidence whispered in the dark is no longer a secret. What if killing didn't produce the right results? Would they do it again? Could they do it again? What if they liked it? Whoa, there's an idea for a new story. End of essay.
I hate her.
Whoa. There's an idea.
Whoa.
I hate her so
She's-
much just from
she's
this
the
bad
worst.
writing
She's awful.
She's a scourge on humanity.
on
Correct.
the English language.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A fan and seemingly also a personal friend even commented on the essay with, quote, I'm calling Dan to make sure he's all right, laugh emoji. And certainly at the time this essay was published on her website in 2011, he was fine. Nancy was right about a couple things. When someone dies, it's pretty common to look into their spouse.
Mhm.
And so the police did that. And she is the worst murderer of all time,
Mhm.
ever.
Worse than authorship?
She is as good a murderer as she is a writer. Let's just say
Ooh.
that.
Okay.
Surveillance cameras had caught Nancy driving in front of the culinary school at 7:08 a.m. on June 2nd, the morning of Chef Daniel's murder. Then again at 7:28 a.m., but he had driven himself to work, so it's not like
So
she
what
dropped
is-
him off.
Yeah, what is she doing there at 7 a.m.?
Mm-hmm. Her husband had set off the culinary school's alarms entering the building at 7:21 a.m. He was the only person in the building at that time. He would get there early. A coworker discovered his body at 8 a.m. that morning. When Nancy was questioned that day, she claimed she had stayed at home all morning.
Bitch, you're on camera. Bitch, you on candid camera.
Bish. Bish. You on candid camera. 3 days. This is maybe one of my favorite parts. I don't know. She's just so fucking dumb. I can't. 3 days later, 3 days after her husband is found dead, she called lead detective Darren Posey, asking for them to send an official letter confirming she wasn't a suspect so that she could receive Daniel's life insurance payout.
Wow.
The balls on this prom.
That's also not how that works.
Sure isn't.
Oh my god.
I bet that detective was just like,
Like, yeah. Right away, Nance. I'm not going to flag this at all.
The lead detective.
The lead detective.
Darren's just
Can
like,
you sign a letter saying I'm in the clear so I can get some money?
yeah, I'm
please?
Maybe letter of
saying,
rent.
and we haven't
Letter of
had
rent.
the funeral yet, but I'm gonna need
3 days.
She's amazing.
The blood
I hate
is
her
hardly
so much.
congealed.
Barely.
wow.
She told detectives that she had a $40,000 policy for Daniel, and upon further investigation, they found that she actually had several policies in which she was the beneficiary, valued closer to $800,000 in total. So a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
She stood to gain a lot. And she did, like, within a couple days, receive like 35 grand from a portion of one policy, which I think she's since had to turn over.
Yeah.
But investigators also discovered an article called 10 Ways to Cover Up a Murder bookmarked on the couple's joint computer.
Bookmark.
Bookmark.
This is the most boomer shit I've ever heard.
She's so, like, there are pictures of her on the drive. You could not imagine a more boomer than this, than Nance.
Oh, Nance.
Fucking Nance.
Oh, Nance.
Yeah.
Nance.
Honey.
The scarf.
No. Yeah. She's like, she's a combination of like every mom,
Ever.
every boomer mom in the world.
Oh, my God.
She also admitted in an early interview that she had recently purchased a 9mm Glock, the same gun that was used to shoot her husband, but that she and Daniel had never used it. Honestly, she had pretty much offered up to police everything they needed to secure a warrant for her arrest, and they did just that.
Motive,
They, like,
means, opportunity.
Yep.
A letter of
within-
rec.
Letter of rec. Within 2 months of Daniel's death, she was arrested. So it didn't take long. At trial, which was significantly delayed due to COVID-19 and wouldn't conclude until 2022. So she was just kind of like awaiting trial that got pushed back for a really long time. Oops, that sucks. And that also explains why this 2018 murder ended up one of my GAC headlines, because it actually, like, this trial didn't conclude until like the end of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So her defense, you guys, her defense argued that Nancy did not have a strong enough motive to justify killing her husband. Money was being pointed to as the motive, but their finances were not as dire as the prosecution had tried to present, thanks to an influx of cash from a recent retirement payout. The defense also indicated that most of the circumstantial evidence supplied by the prosecution was related to Nancy's career as a writer.
Would we call it a career?
It's her blossoming, booming career, explaining that the purchase of the gun was to, like, research, like, what a gun looks and feels like, I guess, so she could write about it better.
Okay.
But not to
And
shoot
then-
it. She never shot it.
Not to shoot it.
okay.
And that she had been out driving around that morning to, like, work on her writing. Get the best writing done while you're
While
driving.
driving.
Yeah. Me too. Me too, girl. I write all of my notes while I'm driving around the city. Yeah. The defense claimed that she had been considering a story about a woman who slowly acquired gun parts in order to complete a weapon and turn the tables on an abusive partner. And that was why she had purchased a ghost gun kit, a handgun, and an extra slide and barrel on eBay that could be swapped and placed on the completed gun.
What's a ghost gun kit? Just to switch
It's
the...
just some kind of kit for building a gun.
You can build, you build your own gun so that it doesn't have a
harder
serial
to
number
trace.
and it can't be traced. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like it should super be legal. Got it.
Yeah.
They leaned into the fact that her romantic suspense books largely focused on what she described as, quote, pretty men and strong women, about families that don't always work, and about the joy of finding love and the difficulty of making it stay. The defense attributed her inconsistent alibi, like, I was home all morning. Oh, just kidding. I was driving around working on my writing, to shock-induced retrograde amnesia.
Okay.
But after a 2-month trial, the jury deliberated and returned a verdict of guilty for the charge of second-degree murder.
Did they deliberate for 7 minutes?
Probably. I think they deliberated for such an inconsequential amount of time that I couldn't even find it in any articles how long they deliberated. They texted each other because it's COVID-19.
It was just a head nod.
We're good. Yeah.
If it was more than a few hours, they probably would have said.
It's a yes from me, dog, for sure. She was 71 years old at the time of sentencing and 67 years old at the time of the murder. She will not be eligible for parole for 25 years and will very likely die in prison.
Yeah.
At sentencing, this is really sad. Members of Chef Daniel's family, including his son from a previous marriage, were able to make impact statements. His son, Nathaniel Stillwater, gave a justifiably scathing statement in court saying, quote, "You are a monster, and I'm ashamed that I have to admit to my children that people like you walk among us undetected. You executed my father in an act of cold-blooded, premeditated murder, the man that did everything for you, cooked your meals, washed your bathed hors d'oeuvres, cooked your meals, washed your clothes, accepted your sedentary nature, supported your failed endeavors, and brought you into the warm embrace of our family.
My mama don't like you, and she likes everyone.
Yeah. I mean, he's no lie detected, but he concluded with, "You lived in the shadow of a great human being."
Yeah, she really did. What the hell? She just clearly had this inflated sense of self, and
her ego had to have been enormous,
right? Because she had built this great thing and was beloved,
very successful, very beloved. Yeah,
Jesus.
She was clearly living in his shadow.
Dumbass.
Daniel's parents also wrote but didn't speak at sentencing, so somebody read this on their behalf. Said, quote, "We will never understand how you could decide that it was an advantage for you to take the life of our son, that he did not deserve to live. You will never know our beautiful great-grandchildren, Dan's grandchildren." So you'll never see them again. They're not even going to know you exist. "These children deserve to know and love him as we all have."
Yeah.
And I will leave you with this. Lifetime filmed a movie in 2023 that I don't think is out yet, called How to Murder Your Husband, the Nancy Brophy story. And Sybil Shepherd plays Nancy and Steve Guttenberg plays Daniel. It's gonna be amazing.
That's gonna be so good. Also, it should be called How Not to Murder Your Husband.
I know.
How to get caught for murdering your husband.
How to be the worst murderer of all time, the Nancy Brophy story. How to call the lead detective and say, "Hey, can I get a hall pass on this murder? Because I really want to collect some life insurance. I did this murder
for the money, so I'm gonna need to expedite getting the money.
I'm gonna need the money, please, real quick."
Wow.
And that's my case, y'all.
Wow. Yeah. This was a great episode.
I love
this was
this episode.
Great and long episode.
Thank you so much to fan picker Stevie Pottle and your little dedication to Kelly. This was great. Thank you for this topic and for your support.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.